Good morning everyone. Today we will revise the chapter structure of the atom. So what are canal rays? Positively charged radiations whose magnitude equal to that of electron discovered by Goldstein. If an atom contains one electron and one proton will if carry any charge or not. No charge contains one electron and one proton will carry any charge or not. On the basis of Thomson's models of an atom, explain how the atom is neutral as a whole. Every atom consists of equal number of protons and electrons. Hence, the net charge carried by an atom is neutral. On the basis of Rutherford's atomic model of an atom, so which subatomic particle is present in the nucleus of an atom. Proton. On the basis of Rutherford's atomic model of an atom, so subatomic particle is present in the nucleus of an atom. So this diagram is very important. All of you refer this diagram and practice it. So what do you think would be the observation if the alpha particles scattering experiment is carried out using a foil of metals other than the gold? So gold is stable to the charged particles. So name the three subatomic particles of an atom. Proton, electrons and neutrons are the three subatomic particles of an atom. So helium atom has an atomic mass 44 and the protons in its nucleus. So how many neutrons does it have? So number of protons is 4 minus 2 is equal to 2. So write the distribution of electrons in carbon and sodium atom. So in carbon there are 6 electrons are there. 1s2, 2s2 and 2p2. 2 plus 2 4, 4 plus 2 6. And sodium, there are 11 numbers are there in sodium. So the atomic number of sodium is 11. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 and 3s1. If K and L shells of an atoms are full, then what would be the total number of electrons in the atom? So K shells can accommodate maximum 2 electrons, L shell are 8. Totally 10 electrons. So how will you find the valency of chlorine and magnesium? So the atomic number of chlorine is 17 and its mass number is 35. The distribution of electrons is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2 and 3p5 and its valency is 1. So sulfur, its atomic number is 16. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2 and 3p4 and its valency is 2. And magnesium, its atomic number is 12. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 and 3s2, total 12 electrons are there and its valency is 2. If the number of electrons in an atom is 8 and number of protons is also 8, then what is the atomic number of the atom and what is the charge of the atom? So the atomic number of the atom is oxygen is 8. So its electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2 and 2p4 and its charge is 2. So write the atomic number and mass number for the following. So oxygen, so its atomic number is 8 and mass number is 16. And sulfur, so its atomic number is 16 and mass number is 32. For the symbol of Hd and T, tabulate the three subatomic particles found in each of them. So hydrogen, deuterium, tritium are the number of protons or electrons and neutrons are present in the hydrogen atoms. If one, it can be call it as protons, or two, it's converted as deuterium, and third one is a tritium. So write the electronic configuration of any one pair of isotopes and isobars. So isotopes. So its atomic number is 11 and mass number is 35. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2 and 3p5. And atomic number is 7 and mass number is 37. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2 and 3p5. Total 17 electrons. So here it's attained the only atomic number, not an mass number. When we write the electronic configuration of an atom, so when we use the atomic number of an elements. And isobars, calcium, atomic number is 20. Argon, its atomic number is 18. So 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2. And argon, its atomic number is 18. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2 and 3p6. So what are the compare the properties of protons, electrons and neutrons? So electrons are negatively charged particles are called electrons. Positively charged particles are called protons. Neutrally charged particles are called neutrons. So mass is negligible and the protons mass is relatively more. In neutrons very densely and having more mass, you have to see that the neutrons. So what are the limitations of J.J. Thomson's model of the atom? So an atom is electrically neutral and charge its sphere. So what are the limitations of Rutherford's model of the atom? So fast moving alpha particles passed straight through the gold foil. Some of the alpha particles were deflected by the foil by small changes. And describe Bohr's model of the atom. Only certain special orbits known as discrete orbits of electrons are allowed inside the atom. While revolving in discrete orbits, the electrons do not radiate energy. Orbits are called main energy level. So shells called energy levels. So compare all the proposed models of an atom given in this chapter. So Thomson model. An atom consists of positively charged spheres and the electrons are embedded in it. The negative and positive charges are equal in magnitude, so atom is electrically neutral. So Rutherford model. Centermost region of atom made up of positively charged particles called protons. So most of the space inside the atom is empty because most of the alpha particles passed through the gold foil. So electrons are revolved around the nucleus in circular paths. The size of the nucleus is very small as compared to the size of the atom. So Bohr's model. Only certain special orbits known as discrete orbits of electrons are allowed inside the atom. While revolving in discrete orbits, the electrons do not radiate energy. Summarize the rules for writing of distribution of electrons in various shells for the first 18 elements. So the maximum number of electrons present in a shell is given by the formula 2n square. Here n indicates the shell number. The maximum number of electrons that can be accommodated in outermost orbit is 8. So electrons are not accommodated in a given shell unless the inner shells are filled, that is the shells are filled in a stepwise manner. So define valency by making examples of silicon and oxygen. So combining capacity of an atom is called valency. So in silicon, you have to see that the atomic number of silicon is 8. So the atomic number of silicon is 10. So you have to write that the 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2 and 3p2. 6 plus 2, 8, 8 plus 2, 10 and 10 plus 2, 14. And its valency is 4. Oxygen, its atomic number is 8. 1s2, 2s2 and 2p4. and its valence is 2. Explain with examples of atomic number and atomic mass number. Here atomic number means the number of protons or electrons present. The number of protons or electrons present in the nucleus of an atom is called atomic number, and it is denoted by a letter is Z. And the mass number. Mass numbers means the total number of protons and neutrons present in the nucleus of an atom is called atomic mass number. And isotopes means having same atomic number, different mass numbers are called isotopes. It is used in agriculture research, and cobalt 60 is used in the treatment of cancer. Isobars, atoms of different elements with different atoms numbers and same mass numbers. Mention the drawbacks of Rutherford's metals. Any particles which under continuous acceleration show radiate energy and finally fall into the nucleus, resulting in stability of atom. But we know that atoms are quite stable. So out of the 3 subatomic particles known, which is called universal particles. So electrons are the 3 subatomic particles known, so it is called as universal particle. Is atomic number of an atom always equal to the number of electrons? Atomic number represents the number of protons and electrons. So out of the protons and neutrons, which is the heavier? Neutrons are slightly heavier than protons. And then diversity in living organisms. So what do we classify? How do we classify? Why do we classify organisms? So exploring the diversity of life forms and learn their characteristics is better manner. So give 3 examples to study variety of variations that you see in life forms around you. Microscopic bacteria, blue whale and redwood trees in California. So group based on existence, evolution and habitat forms, for example, grass and banyan tree. So which do you think is a more basic characteristics for classifying organisms? The place where they live or habitat, the kind of cells they are made of, why? Determining its nature, microscopic or macroscopic, prokaryotic or eukaryotic cells. So which is the primary characteristics on which the first division of organisms is made? So cells, its origin, number and habitat. On what basis are plants and animals put into different categories? Eukaryotic cells. Do not the cells occur singly or group? Do organisms produce their own food and perform the functions? Which organisms are called primitive and how are they different from so-called advanced organisms? First group and frequently referred as primitive do not properly related to the difference since they are young. Will advanced organisms be the same as complex organisms? Why? Because they are young and they are unique and do not properly differences. So what are the criterion for the classification of organisms as belonging to kingdom Monera or Protista? Cell wall or do not have cell wall. Here cell wall is present or do not have cell wall or cell wall is absent. So modes of nutrition means autotrophic and heterotrophic nutritions. Unicellular or multicellular organisms. Appendages, autotrophic and heterotrophic. In which kingdom will you place an organism which is single called eukaryotic and prokaryotic? Here Protista. In the hierarchy of classification, wheels grouping will have the smallest number of organisms with a maximum characteristics of common and which will have the largest number of organisms. They are eukaryotic cells. So which divisions among plants has the simplest organisms? Here Thellophyta. So how are pteridophytes different from the phanerogams? Pteridophytes has conduction system and phanerogams have well differentiated reproductive tissues. Cryptogamy and phanerogams are produce seeds. So how do gymnosperms and angiosperms differ from each other? Gymnosperms are naked seededs and angiosperms are covered seeds plants. So evergreen and gymnosperms are evergreen and woody. Angiosperms are flowering plants. So gymnosperms are perennial and angiosperms are monocot or dicot. For example, Pinus deodar and pulses are grains. How do porifera animals differ from coelenterata animals? So cellular level of organization you have to see at the periphery and tissue level of organization you have to see in the coelenterata. No divisions of labors. So division of labors is seen. Do not have coelom, have coelomic cavity. So how do annelida animals differ from arthropoda? So in arthropoda we have to see that the exoskeleton. In coelenterata no skeleton. So arthropoda are separate sexes. In coelenterata sexes may be unified. In arthropoda, segmented body, head, thorax and abdomen. In coelenterata, body is segmented into rings. So amphibians and reptiles. Levels both in land and water. It lives in both land and water. So that animals are called amphibians. Can live in water but need to come out for oxygen. Can amphibians are jump. Reptiles move by crawling. So amphibians' skin is moist and soft. Reptiles' skin is hardened. So what are the differences between animals belonging to the aves group and those in the mammals group? So aves are body covered by feathers. Mammals' body is covered with hair. Streamlined body. So body is not streamed except whale and a dolphin. So what are the advantages of classifying organisms? You have to see origin, nature, species and nature can be determined. So how would you choose between two characteristics to be used for developing a hierarchy in classification? Species, genes, family, order, class, phylum. Would you choose between two characters to be used for developing a hierarchy in classification? Explain the basis for grouping organisms into 5 kingdoms. Similarly, species, phylum and distinguishing characters you have to see that the basis for grouping organisms into 5 kingdoms. So what are the major divisions in the plantae? So origin, vascular and non-vascular plants you have to see in the major divisions in the plants. So what are the characteristics of the echinodermata? So they have hedgehog and skin animal, spiny skinned organelles. You have to see that the spiny skinned organelles and triploblastic organelles have coelomic cavity, have hard calcium carbonate. And name the amphibians of the plant kingdom. Bryophytes are the amphibians of the plant kingdom. So write the characteristics of the pteridophyta. Differentiated into root, stem and leaves. Have naked embryo that are called spores and cryptogamy. So write the characteristics of the Monera. So do not have defined nucleus or organelles. Multicellular body. Do not have cell wall. And nutrition by autotrophic. So write the characteristics of the Protista. Unicellular, eukaryotic, hair-like cilia or wick-like momentary organelles of flagella. Okay, thank you.